Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Dicing with Death. During the break, I may have just broken a window
In your house?
in my house.
How do you not know if you have?
All right, I broke a window.
This isn't the first
I,
time
I
this has
may
happened to
have.
you.
It's one of these. I kind of live in this weird, funky house that is semi-Victorian,
It's like they
semi-not.
built a house outside of a house.
Yeah,
I don't know
but
if that's
but
actually what the history of the building
but we've
is,
got
but
these big windows that like open, like slide open and then slide close, and they're like the old style with weights in the walls, so that like when it opens, it just kind of like hangs there. But it's been kind of stuck and sticky, and the window wasn't shutting. So today I was like, well, maybe the weather's been different. It's been less rainy and wet, so maybe the wood is not quite as expanded. The humidity's been down lately. Let me try and just push it down. I went to push, and I didn't even push that hard. I kind of gave like a good, like I've done 100 times before. And the big wooden beam at the bottom fell, and there was a crash. And now looking at it, let me see if I can actually show this on camera. It might be too bright. Oh
are you
god.
sure you want to document this for posterity? You're not going
Yeah.
to get any of your
Oh
deposit
god,
back.
no, it's just
Oh,
it's pure
it's
whiteness. You
been
can't see
fenced.
shit.
Let's leave
Okay.
it that way. What if your landlord's watching?
Well, I'm gonna need to call the landlord and ask them to fix it. My only question is, can a window like this actually be fixed? Because it's kind of built into the
Can you see a
wall.
crack?
I mean, the glass is shattered and falling on the ground, and the base of the base of the window, because it's this big thick frame that slides up and down slightly in the wall, and the base of the frame popped out. And the window
Worst,
did not
worst
close, by the
tenant
way. The
ever.
window is still open. It's just that the glass had shattered. So I'm in a little bit of a pickle here.
Can
Um,
the stream go on?
the stream can go on, but we might have to cut it an hour early so that I can deal with this issue because it's a real issue, especially considering I'm moving.
No.
So let's keep playing.
Unacceptable.
Let's keep playing, and just know that we're gonna have to end a little bit early because I
This
kind
isn't
of
the first time Neil's
broke my
broken a
house.
window and I don't know, inconvenienced me.
No, that's not the first time I've inconvenienced Ryan. I didn't inconvenience you the last time.
I
You
guess
didn't have to
not.
do shit. All you had to do was let me borrow your car, and that was fine.
Yeah.
It was fine.
You
Look,
were
it was
you were
great.
the one that bled for that window.
I bled for that window many times.
Okay, so I am in the Plunge, this tavern inn,
Yeah,
somewhere in Elmstead, and
yeah.
I've had a drink, and I'm strutting over to a group of elves because I'm curious,
All right.
and
As you
because someone
approach
else dared
them,
me to.
uh, you notice one of them very obviously goes shh, and points to you. It's like if he was trying to do it subtly, he would have rolled a one. It's that sort of like really obvious maneuver. Um, and the elves all hush up and turn to face you. None of them are wearing cloaks. They have like brown traveling cloaks. I'm sorry, none of them are wearing hoods, but they have brown traveling cloaks. Again, long swords at their sides, long bows against the wall behind them. They all have long golden hair that sweeps down past their shoulders, like behind their backs. Two of the three are male. The third is a female.
Hmm.
And the female wears studded leather armor. The two males are just wearing green and golden clothing. And as you approach, they just turn, all of them, to stare at you.
At this country yokel strutting up to them.
Yeah.
Is there a spare seat at the table?
Yes.
Okay, I walk up like they're old friends and take a seat, and I sort of fetch over a dwarf to get some service.
One of the little dwarves comes up and goes, God, what's the dwarf voice? What can I get for you there, sir? What can I get
Uh,
for you, sir?
a round of drinks for my old friends, and I sit down at the chair and gesture to the elves. Do
Well,
they have what are the drinks looking like in front of them at the moment?
they are sipping wine from wine glasses.
Are they mostly
Red
are they
wine.
mostly full?
No, they're about halfway down.
Okay, all right. So I turn to the gnome. I say another round of whatever they're drinking, and one for me.
Oh, of course, sir. And he hobbles off.
I'll wait to introduce you to the glory of bourbon once we get to know each other a little better. and I give a wink to one of the men.
Okay.
I'm
They'll
not
kind of the guy who you wink at cocks his head to the side. It's like, huh?
Do I know any phrases in Elven, perhaps from Undercommon? Nope.
Nope.
Do any of y'all speak the common tongue? And I start looking around and looking nervously back to the kitchen, hoping that the wine shows up soon.
The female kind of gives a little bit of a chuckle, and in her heavily accented Elven goes, hold on. Fuck, hold on. I'm trying to remember how to do the Elven accent. I want to do it right.
It was like an Eastern European.
But I'm having trouble conjuring my Eastern European.
Battle cruiser operational.
What is your name, young man?
My name is Eustace, and I extend a gentle palm to shake hers.
She extends her hand like this, and you notice there is a golden ring on one of her fingers.
Mm-hmm.
Useless.
I give her a gentle. If she's within reach, I will kiss her fingers, kiss her hand.
You
Yes,
do
it's
so, and the guy who had his head cocked to the side tries to like stifle a grin.
And I go around and like introduce myself to the rest of them. I catch their names. And
The smiling,
Actually,
grinning guy who cocked his head to the side shakes your hand. The other one, his face is like stone wall, and he does not extend a hand to shake yours.
Do any of them give me names or no? None of them give me names.
Mm-mm.
Well then, good thing I used a fake one. Little do they know. Does our wine show up?
Your wine shows up, and as it does so, the gnome says, "That'll be 3 gold, sir."
Oh shit.
4 gold, sir.
I discreetly slip him a platinum.
He
Let's
takes
hope this
it.
pays back. I try. I guess I'm not like a thief or anything, but it's just one coin, right?
Yeah. He takes it and goes, and kind of gets a little bit closer to you and whispers in your ear as you like lean down. I said 40 silver, not 1.
40?
40 silver. 40 silver. Not 1 silver, sir.
Okay, I flip it back. It was a platinum piece.
It was a
but
platinum.
I assume that he doesn't know that. 40 so it, oh wait, no, okay. Yes, so I was right. Okay, yes. I say take it to your boss, I say, and bring me the change. And
He walks off, confused.
right, let's hope that I don't lose that whole platinum.
Okay. The elves continue to look at you quizzically, except for the one on the far side. So basically, from where you're sitting, on your right is the woman. Directly across from you is the one who cocked his head at you and has smiled and seems semi-friendly, or at least bemused. And on your left is the guy who's kind of a hard ass.
Okay, on my left. So did I sit in between a couple? Is that what I'm piecing together?
No, let's go to the map.
There's 5 elves, and I'm trying to figure
4
out
elves. 3 elves.
And no
3
one gave
elves.
me a name.
There are 3 elves. Ooh, there we go.
All right, so the wine shows up, and so now there's 9 glasses of. Wait,
No.
Now there's 11 glasses
There
of
are
wine.
3 elves.
Oh, I thought there were 5 elves.
No, there
Okay.
are 3 elves. Yeah. The wine
And
is.
I'm not even drunk right now. Just hopped up on caffeine.
Yeah.
Did you see?
I'm trying
what I got
to
for
draw the
Christmas?
thingy.
Were you paying attention? Or
What? You got a
this
Christmas
little-
gift?
It's a tea strainer, but it's shaped like a whale, and it floats on top of the tea.
Did your girlfriend get that for you?
She was in cahoots. I don't know. I think she sent an Amazon link to my parents or something like that, so it showed up. Yeah, that definitely does not look like something that my parents would pick out.
Nope.
Has Aaron written all over it.
Yep. All right, so they're kind of seated like this with the male, the hard ass, and the female, and you're kind of like they're seated closer to one side of the table. So there's actually a couple extra chairs here. I guess there's only one chair, but they're all kind of like they've moved themselves to one side to be closer together, and so you're seated like this.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So there's only 7 glasses of wine on the table.
Yes, 7 glasses of wine on the table.
All right. So what brings y'all to Elmstead? Traveling to or from? East or west? North or south? And I give them a grin of feigned ignorance.
The female says, "We are here on business."
Aren't we all?
What are you doing here, new friend?
Introducing myself.
Well, anyway, how do you do a female, Eastern European voice?
You're doing well. You're doing well.
It almost
Valkyrie prepared. Oh wait, is that?
But to do a female, it almost would come out Southern Belle. Like, well.
You don't need to raise. I don't know.
I don't know how to distinguish
actually,
male and female.
Sometimes I think that studying some theater would have done me good in my Dungeons and Dragons, and I kind of regret never doing it as a, back when that was a thing.
It's not a bad idea. I've never even considered that.
Back in like junior high, I was like, psh, that's silly. But now it's like, I would have made me such a better Dungeons and Dragons player.
Yeah. I should take some theater classes.
Yeah, dude. I don't know if they'll have those in Vietnam, but
I'm sure they will. They'll just
find
be
a local theater.
Vietnamese, and I won't understand anything. Because they have 6 tones, Brian. 6 tones in Vietnamese. Fuck that shit. I am not learning that. It's so... Whatever. Anyway.
So they said they were on business. They asked what I was doing. I was like, I'm introducing myself.
Well,
I was trying to get an idea of where they were headed so that I could say I was headed there as well.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not.
They're being very cagey. Yeah.
Yeah. Do they drink? And are they still drinking? I mean,
they're sipping their wine. They haven't touched yours yet.
What's theirs? It's the same. It's like a refill.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm drinking at a moderate pace. Yeah.
What? It is not every day a man comes up to us. What? Tell us, what is your business with us?
This is a common room. Am I incorrect?
You are correct.
The seat was empty. I was being friendly. But to be honest, you are a mite bit intimidating, which might explain the lack of friendly human contact in the past. You may want to work on that.
The male and female chuckle. The hard ass remains stern and kind of furrows his brow at you. Appears he understands what you're saying.
So where are you headed?
Our business is here. There is a sage we would be speaking.
Ah, Newt, an old friend of mine. I'd be happy.
This Newt?
I'd be happy to introduce you.
You have spoken with the wise master before?
I have. If I don't mean to pry, but what is it you seek?
He knows all things. It is said.
Don't get your hopes up, but still, I'd be happy to introduce y'all to him on the morrow.
Do you know who Newt is?
I just said yes that I do.
I do not think you know what you know. Little friend, young friend. Newt is a man without age. Newt was here before the elves. It will be here until the end of time. Newt is the ageless one. He records the world as it transpires.
I don't know that you know this Newt. You've seen him, right? He is certainly not ageless. In fact, he has plenty of age to spare.
Perhaps,
poor man can hardly get down his own stairs.
Perhaps Newt is wrong name? Maybe.
We'll sort this out tomorrow. Until then, drink up. And I chug the last of my wine and take the untouched glass that's in front of the hard-ass guy and start sipping from that as well. And I try and does his look low?
His glass actually looks the most
first.
full. Yeah.
I mean, sorry, is he still on his first
Mm-hmm.
of his? All right, yeah. So it's not like, okay, yeah. I take the drink that I just bought for him back and start drinking on it.
Okay. The hard-ass guy leans into the table and whispers, "Ula semaru dulbarinas." And the other male shakes his head.
I lean in closer. I say, that was very beautiful. What does it mean?
The
I
male
look to
speaks
the
up and it
friendly
says,
man and the female.
"The words are not for you to hear. I
I
think
figured with living as many years as you'd have a little bit more of a enlightened perspective on life. For one so old and wise, you are quite stuck up.
the male speaks up again, saying, "Have you considered that we have all interacted with humans before, and our reservations are well informed? You humans tend to cause trouble. You seek power and wealth and greed.
Yep.
You do not take the long
Yep.
view of
Check, check, check.
life. You are. What is the expression? Usala mosali. And the other one goes, Usarabaras. Because, more trouble than you are worth. Your
That
life
sounds
is
about right.
so short, and your ambition is so big. Is gives us migraines.
Migraines too, my friend.
Did I hear right? Your parents call you useless?
My parents did call me useless, but the name on the records is Eustace. Eustace.
Useless
Sure, sure.
is
Eustace the useless. That's what my ma used to call me.
is a not good name. No, you
It is a fine name, thank you very much.
is
Goes back in my family 7 generations.
is a talk down name? Is a rude name?
Smack talk? No, no, sir.
Lusabarisa. The female just shakes her head and says, and this time in like fluent common with no accent whatsoever, "What is it that you came over here to speak to us about, young man? Are you really here just to meet some elves for kicks?"
For kicks, are you not enjoying this conversation? Did I interrupt something? I look around the group of elves.
Time is a very long period.
Yeah, then
What
why are you
cannot
so
be
concerned
started,
with?
finished now, can be finished later. It's just we do not have humans approach us very often. In fact, this is the first time in a few decades we have been spoken to.
Well, I'm sorry, I come from such an unfriendly race. But like I said before, you are a mite bit intimidating.
By
And
design.
long swords and all. And
And we know how to use them too, she says
oh,
with a
I don't
wink.
doubt it. Well, the offer
What
stands.
did you come here for? Simply to make conversation?
Why to extend my services to you? I'm taking you to see Newt on the morrow, and I give her a wink. The lady this time.
Mm-hmm.
And I stand up from the table.
She
I'll
turns
see
back
you
to the others
here
and
for
says,
breakfast, and I knock on the wood.
"Okay." As you depart, they speak in Elven.
I do my best to listen, but I don't understand a word of it.
No.
I drink the last of my second glass of elven wine and head back over to the fire.
Okay. This is the best wine you've ever had in your entire life. I should have mentioned.
Yeah,
it's
I actually
red and earthy and rich, but still, it doesn't have that like bitter or gross alcohol taste.
Bitter, gross alcohol taste.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. I like wine that is not bitter and gross.
Mm-hmm.
I actually go try and find the dwarf and see if I can get my change.
Yeah,
See if
you
he
leave the
sorted it out with
table,
his
and
boss.
the dwarf is talking to the giant guy, and they seem to be bickering
Oh,
about something. And as you approach the table, the oaf says, Mister, is this
yes, him.
is this what I think it is?
Yeah, that would be platinum, and I believe my tab was 4 gold. So let's get some change made, and I'll.
Okay, I haven't seen any platinum outside of the Church of Astaire in a long time.
Shiny, ain't it? I say,
Super is.
but if you give it it'll have a little more give than silver. And I don't know. I'm a trained alchemist. I'll tell him something about it that he can use to verify what kind of metal it is.
He rummages around.
It's probably
and,
quite a bit heavier than a silver coin for its size, and
yeah,
obviously not something he. I mean, it's obvious.
He
That it's
provides you
definitely
with
the holiest of metal.
4 gold coins and 20 silver coins to make your change.
4 gold and 20 silver. Sounds good. All right. Let's hope that those elves don't give me the slip. I had to break my first platinum piece to win them over.
How much platinum do you have?
That was the only one I got.
Okay.
I got it for that gold necklace.
Oh, that's right.
So I'm gonna go check on my clothes. If they're dry, I'm gonna collect them, and I'll make an early night of it and be up first thing in the morning to catch the elves before they head off to Newt's.
Okay. Yeah, you crash out and wake up the next morning. Everything is hunky dory and a-okay, and you come downstairs.
Yeah, so I pack up all my things.
And as you arrive downstairs, you see the same set of elves and the same table. It's like they haven't even
Before
moved.
me. So I made an effort to get. I'm actually gonna. I would have spent 10 minutes changing my spell that morning.
Sure.
To. Let's do change self instead of sleep.
Sure.
Sleep won't do me much good on the elves.
As you approach them, or as you see them, you notice that they are eating some sort of bread that has like basil or spinach in it, but it's some sort of like long, thin, flat bread. And they're just kind of nibbling on corners.
Would I have
of it.
any idea what this is, or is the first? Okay.
It's fucking weird ass bread with leaves in it.
Elves. So I'm now decked out in all my gear. I've got an obviously wrapped sword at my waist and an umbrella. I've got my big quarterstaff now with a lantern hanging on it. So I look probably quite a different sight than I did last night.
Yes.
And I strut on over.
I should mention the female elf is no longer wearing her armor.
Oh, she was wearing armor last night.
She was wearing studded leather.
Okay. But the
Yes.
men are still armored, or were
No,
they not?
none of them have armor on.
All right. I grab one of the dwarves and get like a hunk of sausage or something to go,
Okay.
and
The
join my elven
female looks you
companions.
up and down quizzically.
Good morning, milady, gentlemen.
She reverts
nod
back
to
to her
you,
heavy
turn.
accent and goes, "Good morning."
Do you find that I say a little quieter? Do you find that accent helps you in your business? I couldn't help myself wondering why you would turn it up. And I give her a bit of a wink.
Information is power, young one. People think we do not speak. People do not ask. People have hard time understanding. People leave us alone. These two accents real. Me, not so much.
Well, are you all done with your spinach bread?
My name,
it-
she says,
it
extending her
grilled.
hand, is Silva.
Silva. Well, it is a
Silva,
pleasure
she says,
pleasure
without
to
an accent.
finally meet you after all of this time. Do these two have names, or are they just your lackeys?
This,
I
she
give them
says,
a
pointing
smile.
to the nice male, is my husband.
Which
the-
one? Oh, the nice man. Okay, yeah.
She points across the table to the hard-ass guy. This is my brother.
Ah, suddenly it all makes so much sense. Come,
show
come,
us
let us
to
hit the road.
Newt.
I have a feeling it will be a fine day. What are they? Say that again.
You show
I'm
us
like
to
ushering them
Newt
outside.
now, yes?
Yeah, I'm ushering them outside
Yeah.
or leading them outside. Is it sunny out or is it still
It is still
driven rain?
overcast, and the wind has picked up. It's now blowing at like a steady 10 miles an hour ish, with gusts of up to 20. So it's
All right. Well, I
pretty
I make
hefty
sure all of
wind.
my stuff is secure, including my lantern.
Hmm.
All right. Buckle up, folks. Looks like it's a blustery day. I smell some omens on the air. Perhaps this may be your lucky day with Newt. And I start leading them towards his tower
Perhaps,
on the edge of
perhaps.
town.
You proceed
It's
towards the
probably
tower.
too windy for a conversation.
Yeah,
We
the wind
sort
whips in
of
between you guys, and you can speak, but you have to kind of be next to one another. You're
yeah.
leading the way, and occasionally, as you glance back over your shoulder, you do notice the elves whispering to one another.
Hmm. I
Um,
try and overhear what I can, but
okay.
like I said, I don't speak the language. I'm just sort of curious.
When you guys come into view of the tower, the female elf Silva
Hmm.
taps you on the shoulder and says, "Give us a moment. Step into alleyway with us, yes?" And she steps into a slight alleyway between two buildings, where
Yeah.
the
Get a break
wind.
from the rain.
Well, there's no
A break
rain.
from the wind. Sorry.
No, no, the wind is actually even worse down here. It's almost like the buildings funnel the wind and it blows much harder in here than it did in the main streets.
All right. I let them. So I assume they were leading into an alley,
Yeah,
right?
they lead in.
And I
They don't
stay.
go in too far. They step in
Okay,
like
I was
15
staying in,
feet.
basically in the street. I'll maybe step like just between the
Hmm.
buildings.
Yeah.
I'm a,
Uh, the female.
and I'm keeping an eye out for them trying to like mug me or something. I don't know I don't know what's going on here. They're like, here, come down this alley.
Um, hold on one sec. The female, her eyes kind of roll back into her head, and she starts tracing a pattern in this in front of you, and whispers a few words that you can't hear over the wind.
Is she casting it on me?
It looks
Or
like
she's
she is
casting-
casting a spell. Do you have spellcraft?
I do not. I'm probably entranced by it. But if she's casting it on me, I'm going to react. And well,
I mean, you don't know the
do I
target
seem to
of
be
her
the
spell.
target, or is she casting a okay.
She's not pointing at you, and her eyes are rolled in the back
I
of her
look-
head.
All right, I step out of like the way and watch, I guess.
Okay. She finishes, and her eyes kind of fold back down, but you notice instead of the lovely green and blue, very similar to the color of my eyes, by the way, which are very lovely.
Except she's not a scruffy ginger.
Eyes,
She's
man,
a
eyes.
beautiful
Okay?
elf
Yeah.
with Neil's eyes, though. A beautiful
Right.
elf with Neil's eyes.
Exactly.
That will keep me
Except
from
you
hitting
notice
on
her
for the
eyes are now
entire
purple.
campaign. Ooh.
And she looks around, and then her eyes focus on the parcel sticking out of your
Oh.
bag.
I shift awkwardly. Milady! And I step back out into the street. I had no idea you had such gifts. And I'm backing away a little bit uncomfortably, trying to see what her reaction is. Like, is she eyeing it with greed, or is she just sort of surprised?
Her face is. Well, give me a charisma check. See what you can pick up from her. Opposed charisma checks. How about that?
My charisma is not great. And the rolls are not great either.
Well, you take a
so I'm
look
gonna
at her,
ready and yeah.
and it looks like her eyes kind of like go wide, and then kind of chill out for a moment,
Mhm.
and then she turns, and like you see the faintest grin on her face as she says to the guy next to her.
I'm like back.
something
I'm in the. I'm basically in the street. I'm in.
Yeah.
Is there anyone out at this time?
Yes, there are people out, but
Okay, so
you
if
can't
they-
really hear anything over the wind.
I don't need to hear them. I just want to make sure that there are witnesses in case these elves try and murder me.
There are witnesses. The female motions you to come back to them.
I take one step closer.
She says something that you can't hear over the howl of the wind.
What are the men doing? The male elves.
They're looking at you. It's a narrow alleyway. It's about 8 feet wide, so it's kind of like two are angled slightly, and then the one of them in front of them with his back to the wall. So it's kind of this funky, Everyone's kind of crammed in here tightly, except for you, who's like 10 feet away out in the street.
Their weapons aren't drawn.
Nope.
And they don't look like they're inching towards them, do they?
No.
And so it's sort of single file in this alley, right?
Almost, except two of them are like cockeyed a little bit so that they can stand next to one another.
So are they
The husband and wife.
I'll take a step closer so that we can speak. I will ready an action to. Can I whack with a quarterstaff in this alley?
Yes.
Okay. So I just, if anyone jumps at me, I've got my quarterstaff in my hand,
Okay.
so I'll smack them.
She
But I'll step in closer. And
she says to you,
looking a little nervous.
Do not be alarmed, young one.
So what did you really come to Newt's Tower for?
We have questions for him.
He's
I had questions about you. You very brave for human. You come speak to elves. I learn more about who you are now. I come to understand you a little better.
there's no one around that's listening. You don't have to fake this accent.
Accent is easier than speaking normal.
Very well. I can answer you more questions about me when I'm feeling comfortable. Right now, we are in a sketchy alley, and this wind is howling. Why don't we head to Newt's, and I can tell you my life story another time.
Very well. Lead us on.
Why were you? How? Oh, so I guess we start walking back into the street. How did you do that? Did you? Your eyes, I saw them change. Were you able to observe the auras of the magic within my blade?
You are wise. You dabble? Little bit? You know much about magic, more than common folk.
Do I? And I give her a wink.
You do. I speak honestly with you, you not so speak honestly with me. This is what I say. Humans, trouble, always lies, always deception. Always must be done quickly, sketchily, sloppily. No patience for precision. No trust.
Trust? You want to talk trust? How about your fake accent?
Fake
Are we
accents
approaching-
protect us. Yeah, you guys approach Newt's house. You're still about a block away. You
Yeah.
continue to talk about, the mistrust between elves and humans very broadly as you arrive at the tower.
Right. We approach the front door, and I give it a loud knock with my staff.
One of the halflings comes over and opens the door and goes, "Why, hello there, mister. Did you come to return the umbrella?"
I pull it out from my belt. Yes, of course, that's why I'm here. Portia, this is Silva and friends. They're elves. And I hand him the umbrella.
Well, gee willikers,
Silva?
I've never seen an elf before.
Can you take us to see Newt? Is he busy?
Master Newt would love to speak with you elves. And, Mr. Fenric, I'm pretty sure he'd like to speak with you again as well.
Oh, bother.
The woman looks at you and gives you like a "I told you so" kinda.
We step inside, I assume.
The halfling leads the way all the way up the staircase this time and gives a knock on the door. And from inside you hear the old "Come in!" And Portia opens the door, and the elves walk in, kind of like push their way past you almost, and walk in.
Are there seats in the room? Or
Nope, no, there's just the one chair opposite of his big desk, which has books opened all over it, and there's a glass orb and like a little pedestal nearby, and the shelvings on the sides have very old tomes. He's got a pen in a hand right now, and he seems to have been writing in a book. There's a big pot of ink next to him, and some. As you guys come in, he puts his quill in a little quill holder and sprinkles some sand over the book.
some sand.
Some sort of
All right.
powder
So I step
sand
in
shit.
after the elves and stand in the back. I'm probably a little taller than them, so I can sort of look over their heads
How
and
tall are you?
like 5'9".
Yeah, you could. They're the tallest one is 5'4".
Yeah, I'm 5'9". Yeah. So I stand behind the elves. I give a wink to Newt and try and look at what he was writing at on his desk. And I listen to what the elves have to say to him.
Okay. They speak in Elven.
Oh bother. Well, I try to
Newt
over.
replies in Elven as well.
Yeah, I listen intently to their conversation, but I'm not able to follow a word of it. But I like the rhythm of the language, and I listen to it rise and fall. All right. What do I see on the piece of paper that Newt was inscribing?
Oh yeah, that's right. You can read.
I can read.
Yeah,
Just
it seems like he was writing about. Let me take a look at my map so I know exactly where this region is.
I'm probably looking at it upside down and sideways, so maybe I just pick up a keyword or two.
He seems to be writing something about a wizard, a wizard of the black robes. You don't catch a name, but you do see the name of a city called Valesburg or something like
Black
that.
Wizard in Valesburg.
Yeah,
I'd probably never heard of Valesburg.
never.
But I'll take note on my character sheet that there's a Black Wizard in Valesburg.
Yeah.
And I try and listen to the conversation. I scan the room, I guess, if there's any interesting things that catch my eye. Dead creatures in jars or anything.
No dead creatures, just lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of books. The elves speak with him for like 5 minutes, and afterwards he turns to look at you and says, Fenric, you have come back. What is your... Have you changed your mind? Are you here to relinquish
Oh no, Sir
your
Newt.
burden?
I just bumped into these fine folk in the tavern I was staying at, and thought I'd do them a kindness and bring them here to see you.
The woman
Big
speaks a
grin.
few words to Newt at that point, and he makes like a gesture towards your bag with his face, and she gives a
It's
nod.
actually, it's a sword on my waist at this point.
Okay, yeah. Well, then he makes a gesture
Fine.
towards the sword on your waist, and she gives a nod and says a few words back in Elven.
I take a step back and I would have to request that you do not speak about me in front of me. So I'm now standing in the doorway. Are the elves making any aggressive move?
No, no. The Silva turns to you and says, kind of charmingly, Fenric. Right?
I personally think Eustace is a much finer name than Fenric. But
Eustace.
my name changes with the wind, and it is an awfully blustery day. And I wink my brown eye at her.
Eustace. Newt here tells us you have a bad sword. Sword that caused you trouble, caused you heartache, caused
It
you
may
pain.
very well be cursed, but poor Newt over there is just as much under its spell as any of us.
I do not think so. I think you... what they call it? The part between scrotum and asshole? You,
The taint.
Yes, you tainted. I think Newt right. I do not mean to presume or get in your way, but give him your sword.
I will extend to you the same offer I extended to Newt, if you can perhaps demonstrate to me conclusively that this sword is in fact cursed and a danger to my person, then perhaps I will relinquish its protection unto Newt.
Fenric, Eustace, you have children, yes?
Children? God, I hope not.
You have pet dog. Ever?
Dewey? Nah, he passed a few years back.
But you have had pet dog, yes?
Sure. Where are you going with this?
When dog pee in house, dog does not understand pee in house bad. You must shove dog face in the pee so they understand, right? That is how humans do, yes? You don't speak with dogs.
Am I the dog in this situation?
The sword bring you trouble like dog pee in house. It does not look like trouble to you now, but it is trouble of the mind. You must. You will see later. You must trust. Blade will not cut you. Blade will not eat you. Blade will taint you, change you.
You know all this from your purple eyes?
Newt. Newt knows all.
Newt don't know shit. I immediately realized I said something slightly offensive and looked to Newt to make sure he's not.
The hard ass elf turns to face you, and draws his long sword and says, "All right,
Whoa,
Mister.
whoa.
You give up sword now." And Newt goes, "Whoa, no violence in the house. Take it outside."
Yeah, let's sell it on the lawn, buddy. Put your dukes up. And I sort of scurry back out into the hallway and look back to make sure he's not actually.
The female elf seems to be yelling at something at him, but he chases after you, like strides after you, not like running, but he follows.
I flee from him if he chases me, but I was just like scurrying a few feet back.
You scurry a few feet back. He scurries a few feet towards you. You make it out onto the platform, and he is coming toward. His sword is out, but it's not pointed at you. It's like pointed towards the ground.
Silva, is this her husband or her boyfriend or her brother?
Brother.
Is there anywhere to go on the second floor that isn't down the staircase? Like
no, this floor ends at the second story. Although there is a third story to the building, and you're not sure how it is accessible.
I wish to give him the slip. So I don't know if you want me to roll for initiative, but I'm gonna try and move and cast a spell somewhere else before he has a chance to.
All right, let's do an initiative roll.
Yeah, to do anything. But I don't want to cast a spell if he's gonna stab me, I guess. So I want it. Can I wait to declare? I guess I got to declare actions as I roll initiative, don't I?
Right.
But I'm hoping my move will go off. How long does this take? Casting time 1. Six.
All right. So he
Longsword
makes a
is
move
kinda
towards you while you're out on the ledge,
let me
and you get
see
to go
what the-
first.
The caster material's none, so it's just somatic and verbal. So I'm like scurrying down the stairs. I probably expose my back to him. I like do like a feint, and then I just run for the staircase, muttering to myself and flailing my hands in the air. I don't know what the somatic components are. I probably like rub my face and transmutate the flesh. Let me read this spell description. Actually, let's roll a wild surge just in case. So I probably make it all the way down the staircase. And is there like a waiting room or somewhere or do I have to leave to get to another place?
No, you can just make it down the staircase to the big room at the base where the little halfling door is. And you see Portia down there.
1. That's not a wild surge though. It's
No.
20. It's just several levels lower.
Right,
So
which
level
is
0, level 1.
Yeah. We're still level 1 anyway, right?
All right. Yes.
What do you cast?
I'm casting Change Self. The only thing I have memorized. 1 foot shorter, so 4'9". That's not quite a halfling. I'm going to turn myself into an elf. I'm going to shrink down to about their size, look just like them. I can't imitate specific individuals, but I wish to have similar clothes to what they have.
Okay.
Like same green style that So I could be, like their brother or their cousin or as best that I can imitate.
You now appear to be an elf. And
yeah.
Portia below you
so
goes, "Oh my!"
Shh. And I try and is there anywhere I can go?
You can hide under
How
the
tall is the
staircase.
halfling door?
The halfling door
I shrink myself
is
as short as I
3'5".
could get.
Okay.
So I'm 4'9" is what I'll be.
The halfling
so
door is like
I'm
3.5 feet
on
tall.
the short side for an elf, but as small as I can get. Is there any other place to go?
There's the front door, the halfling door. The staircase comes down. You can actually stand under the staircase if you want. It's just like stone sticking
I'm
out
gonna
of the
try and
wall.
squeeze into the halfling door. I'm gonna make it look like it's a silly little halfling game, and I don't know, hope that he buys it. And I go shh, and I punch over and see if I can crawl into. How tall did you say it was? 3 foot.
3.5 feet tall.
3.5 feet. So I'm 4'9". I mean, I'm gonna have to squeeze to get in through the halfling door, but I think I can fit.
You open the door and duck in pretty easily. It's a nice little halfling home. There's a bed on the side with a.
I'm gonna roll my 2d6 to see how long I'm an elf.
With with some drawings of scantily clad female halflings posted on the wall beside it. There's like a little bedside table with some tea on it and a little tea kettle with a cloth wrapped around it. There's a little hearth in the back with a little bit of a fire going. It's just mostly coals at this point. There's some tables with stuff, and there's like, looks like a little halfling bedroom.
Okay, is it all one room? Or...
It's all one room, yeah. It's just a little tiny... Looks like this is his house inside the tower.
Is it below ground, or is it just like sticking out the side, or is it just half the first floor or something like that? Or just a small...
Inside the tower, look. So if we were to draw a
like
tower
a circle, right?
on a map... Let's get rid of this stuff. Let's actually change me to... black here. So if we were to draw a tower... so if this is the outside of the tower, the inside where you hang out is only like this big. So the inner room is smaller than the outer side, and the halfling door is built into this part right here.
And there's like a spiraling staircase that goes up and around.
Yeah, and there's a spiral staircase that, where's my pen? That kind of starts here and spirals up and around. This is over here is where the second floor is.
Yeah. That's just a doorway straight into Newt's office or whatever.
Right, and Newt's office...
It takes up the entire second floor or so.
Yeah, it kind of does one of these
like
things.
Like an awkward curve around the room.
Right, so there's still parts of the tower, like this over here could all be just solid wall, or there could be other rooms in there, you're not really sure.
Okay, so anyways, but the halfling room is probably only like 10 feet by... Probably even less.
Yeah, it's about 10 feet deep, and I want to say 15 feet wide, but it does curve in an arch. And
so
the
I
bed's
sort of
like against
crouch
one
awkwardly in
side.
there. Does the halfling follow me, or does he...
No, the halfling is just kind of standing outside, wide-eyed. Did you shut the door behind you?
I grin at him as I allow him time to follow me in if he wants to.
He does not.
But I make it clear that I'm shutting myself in here.
Okay, you shut the door.
Is there a window from here if I need one?
Yes, there is a little window. It's about... whatever this is, a foot and a quarter wide by about a foot tall.
So I'm looking at that, looking at my belt, thinking there's no way in hell I'm ever going to get out of it. But I inspect the window nonetheless, and I think that's about all. I mean, that was a big full round.
Yeah.
So let's see what the elf does when he runs down the staircase and sees the door slam or shut in his face.
He comes down the staircase and comes up to the door and pounds on it with something. There's no window in the door. And you hear him yell at you, "Give us the sword. It is for your own safety. I am doing you a favor, you moronic human."
Yes, who is it? I approach the door from the opposite side. My weapons and stuff have, like, disappeared as I cast the spell, I assume, right? Like, my gear melts into me or whatever, and I'm wearing whatever is appropriate of the...
He just pounds on the door and says, "Open up!" And then
why
you
is
see
that
the
you,
doorknob
cousin? Or, why is that you, cousin? And I go to open the... I guess, are we rolling initiative for the next...
No, you're both opening the door at the same time. That rounds are a minute in the system, so that can all be done.
So I open it, and standing face to face with him is...
I mean, you're an elf that's like hunched over in this doorway looking up, and he's looking down. And he goes...
"Oh, good cousin, it has been so long since I have seen you." And I try to embrace him.
He lets you embrace him.
Do you have a weapon drawn?
His longsword is still in his right hand. He
cousin.
lets you embrace him.
All right, and I sort of try and like shove him back out into the entryway of the...
Give me an opposed strength check.
I'm not like making this aggressive, but I don't want to be hunched in a little hobbit hole.
Okay, well, he
Oh,
actively
critical.
resists. All right, so you kind of hug him and shove him, and he stumbles back into the
Bear hug.
room.
So I stand up and look up at him. He's probably a couple inches taller than me.
You see Silva standing on the staircase, like way down at this part, at the base of the staircase.
I
and
extend
her
my arms
husband.
and start walking towards her. Oh, good cousin Silva. It has been so many years. And I start walking towards her, arms
She
wide.
snaps at you. Fenric! Stop this.
I break out into a run and sort of get past her and hide behind her so that she's between me and her cousin with a sword, or and her brother with a sword.
And she yells at the other one,
I
Tool!
put him before-
This is beneath you. He's but a mere human. Let him go. If he wishes to lose his life over
Human.
this sword, he can do so.
Do not offend me by comparing me to such a lowly and fickle race.
She glares at you very intently and goes, I am a spellcaster. I know what you have done. Drop the pretense. If you wish to throw your life away with this blade, do so. To all. This is not the place. We have matters with Newt. And he responds very angrily in Elven, going, Usalabaza! And she proceeds up the staircase, and he looks at the short elf that appeared in the halfling's house in the tower and is speaking common
But with a heavy elven accent.
with a very heavy elven accent. He sheathes his blade with anger and marches up the staircase. And as they recede, the halfling kind of pops out, and you didn't even realize where the halfling was, but he was at the very base of the stairs, hidden all the way back in, and crawls out and goes, "Oh boy! Sounds like you really pissed him off. You know, this is none of my business, and I tend to stay out of Master Newt's workings, but if you've got Master Newt and a bunch of elves asking for your weapon, you best give it up. It's probably not any good for you, but what do I know?
I
just
agree,
live
but
there.
they will not make me a suitable offer. I scratch my chin and I step out into the
Well,
street.
but what if I made you
Go
an
to the park.
offer? Would that work?
What you got to share, Portia?
Ooh, I could make you a wonderful trade. All sorts of things happen around here. All sorts of things get lost that I find that Master Newt doesn't want.
Where do you hide these things?
Oh, come here. And he walks back into his little hobbit hole. Halfling hole, I'm sorry. Not
I duck
Tolkien's
in,
creatures.
cram in after.
Um,
Sorry for barging in on your place like that. That big elf was chasing me with a sword. It was mighty scary.
Oh, it's okay.
I'm still an elf.
Just,
for 7 minutes total.
yeah. And as you're in there,
and
he
I'm-
points to the pictures on the wall and says, oh, those aren't mine. Those are my brother's.
I
He,
look
he, he lives here too. He's just out right now. That's my bed over there. And he points to like a different bed in the room. That
How
you
many
didn't even
beds are there
notice.
in this room?
There's just two. There's like one on either end of the room. You didn't
So
even
there's-
notice the other one.
There's just 2 of you, right?
Yup. Just the two of us. He does the gardening, and I do the maintenance inside the house.
So you were telling me you found some things in the course of your duties.
Well, most people wouldn't be interested, but considering you're all magical looking like an elf now, I figure you might be the sort of fellow who would like a spell book.
You have a spell book?
Some nasty brutish fellow came in here some time ago trying to sell it to Master Newt, and Master Newt wouldn't have it. And so he threw it down in a rage when he walked out.
So Master Newt got it for free?
Oh, Master Newt doesn't want it.
Why
I
does
picked it
he
up
want
and
it?
just tucked it away in my little bookshelf.
Does he have a bookshelf in here?
Yeah, there's a bunch of bookshelves in there.
What would you do with this blade if I let you have it?
Oh, I'd just give it right back to Master Newt. He seems to really want it, and I don't know why, but
Do you think it's safe for a man of his age to be handling such a dangerous implement?
the elves are old too, aren't they?
I suppose. I'll think on it. I'm sure this won't be the last time we meet, Portia. The next
Okay.
time I will not be looking like this. I change my skins with the changing of the winds, and I think the storm is about to blow over. And I start walking out the door just as I transform back into my human self.
Portia scratches his head as you like kind of awkwardly shift into a person partway through the doorway and pop out the other end.
Make sure
The
I
elves
didn't.
are upstairs and gone.
Yeah, I head out the front door before they can notice me.
Okay.
Well, that did not go as planned. As I step out into the
You
wind.
step outside and are immediately confronted with 3 thugs. I think that's the best way to
Just
describe
like on
them.
the doorstep, I like open the
They're
door.
they're
and
standing outside, kind of discussing things between themselves. And as you open the door, they all turn to look at you.
it seems
They're
like a
kind
perfect
of
time to go
heavy
for
set.
a break.
Yeah, I just want to
Sorry,
describe them
describe.
first. They're not heavy set's not the right way. Maybe like well muscled, or they're kind of bigger guys.
Mm-hmm.
They stand between 5'8" and 6 feet tall. 2 of them have wooden clubs with nails sticking out of them. One of them has an actual like flanged mace at his side.
Mm-hmm.
None of them are wearing any kind of armor.
How far away are they from the front door?
15 feet.
All right, so I guess let's. Am I surprised or
You're both surprised, so
so no surprise round?
no
surprise
surprise
round,
rounds.
staring at each other, and then roll initiative, and let's go
we'll
for a
roll
break.
initiative when we come back from the other side of our break.
Sounds good.
See you guys there. Bye bye.